¿Qué onda, leyendas de Fantasy Football? Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a un nuevo episodio de Fantasy Football Legends. Yo soy su host Diego Lozano. Como siempre, es un placer estar con ustedes hoy en un nuevo episodio. Hoy estaré con una leyenda de todo esto, Elvin Ryan. Es un placer que esté aquí con nosotros. Un, es un, es un analista de Fantasy Pros, un ranker también. Me encanta lo que hace. Sus tweets son increíbles. Vayan a seguirlo ahorita a Twitter. Y Elvin, how are you doing, man? I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you're doing great. Happy off season, man.
Yeah, you as well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Uh, Bilingual people always impress me. That was pretty cool. How you can transition. So that's awesome. Much
Thanks,
respect.
man. Are you learning Spanish?
No, man, I was awful at Spanish whenever I tried. And then, like, I've gone to like Spain over there whenever I was in the Navy and stuff. I always struggle with a second language. Like, I tried learning Italian, I tried learning Spanish. Nothing sticks with me.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, people have told me that it is really tough to learn Spanish. I don't know why, but yeah, you're an expert ranker for Fantasy Pros. You're the founder of Fantasy Feeds. You're an awesome person. Thanks for being here, man. It's an honor. Where can people find you on Twitter?
Yeah, so Twitter, Elvin Ryan underscore FF.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. So I got some pretty cool questions for you. I think you got some good ass answers for me. So let's do it, man. I mean, who do you think were the biggest fantasy winners of the draft for you?
All right, so I'll go Miles Gaskin,
Okay.
and Mike Davis, and then me, since I roster them both heavily.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
they dodged the big trio bullet of running backs. A lot of people did not see that coming. I think a lot of people had both of them mocked to take a running back at least in the second round. I know a lot of people had Miami in the first, so that was
Yeah.
big, huge winners.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love it. I also have Miles Gaskin. I love him. I think he's a great winner. I have him inside my top 20 in PPR leagues. Where do you rank Miles Gaskin like right now?
Yeah, no, I think he's an RB2 for sure with RB1 upside just because volume and uh, with them having Jalen Waddle over there, I think that'll relieve some even more pressure.
Yeah.
Uh, he should get going, man. I mean, he could be top 15. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been tough because I don't know, like we don't really know what's going to happen with all those veteran guys like Todd Gurley, and maybe we could see him over there. How low would you rank him if I don't know Todd Gurley drops by in Miami? Where would you put Miles Gaskin? Like you would change, like your perspective would change a lot.
I wouldn't say a lot, but it would change. Only say that just because I mean Todd Gurley's there, you're gonna have to give him some touches. But last year I was very high on Todd Gurley, and he let me down big time, huge. So I'm not gonna buy into it. So if he goes there, Gaskins is still the RB1 in Miami.
Okay, I love it. Yeah. Also, shout out to Andre Erickson who said this on his Twitter. I mean, this dude ranks 14th all time in NCAA history in rushing yards. Also, if we count every single week that he actually played, like he was injured some weeks, he was RB8 in PPR, fifth player with most targets. Only Kamara had more receiving yards than he did. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Also, rushing the rock. I mean, wasn't like awesome, but we loved it. I mean, that game against the Raiders was super cool, right? I mean, with that Fist Magic throw, I mean, I think that was a moment where we saw like Miles Gaskin as a big thing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. He impressed me more times than not.
Yeah,
I like the guy.
yeah, 100%, man. Also, where do you rank Mike Davis? Why, like, I we don't know what's going to happen with Javian Hawkins, and also, why we saw that Edo Smith was cut, but where would you rank like Mike Davis right now?
I think he is, man. That's so hard, you know. Um, I'd probably put him on a late RB2, a fringe RB3, but I could see him being higher just because of volume. I mean,
Yeah,
they don't have much in Atlanta as far as that, but they pass the ball so much, and
yeah,
we saw Matt Ryan. I mean, he led the league in attempts again, I believe, and I just think that's their offense. We
yeah.
could see a change, but who knows?
Yeah, also we see like Arthur Smith like forecasting a bell cow back. I mean that could be pretty cool, like to see Mike Davis with this Derrick
But
Henry esque role. I mean I'm saying it's going to transition like that, but yeah, it would be cool, right?
yeah, yeah, I mean, it's in front of his hometown. I mean, I think he's from like the Athens area, so
Oh, okay.
Atlanta's not far from there, so he's gonna be he's there to show up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Also, uh, what do you say if I told you like Allen Robinson was a big winner of Justin Fields? Would you agree with me? Like the first QB, like he like he's like real good because we saw Andy Dalton, we saw Mitchell Trubisky, we see Nick Foles. Now we see Justin Fields, and can we be really excited about Allen Robinson right now?
So you think Justin Fields is the big winner?
Uh, no, I
Oh no,
think A Rob. I think A Rob is like the big winner with
oh,
Justin Fields there.
Rob. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll definitely by far be the best quarterback he's ever played
yeah,
with, and he's always put up incredible numbers. I mean, even with Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, like
yeah,
the guys never had a guy like Justin Fields. But I do worry just because Justin Fields' rushing ability and like the NFL, the game happens much faster. So I wonder like how he's going to go through progressions. Like at Ohio State, sometimes he had that time where he could look past first, but he knew that he could run the ball. Like he knows his ability. But in the NFL, with the game happening so much faster in front of him, I'm worried that uh, he might think run first and of a lot of occasions and take away some volume.
yeah, 100% with there's no doubt about it. Like I think that happened a lot, and right now we can happen. So, do you follow this narrative of like we saw this rap sheet report about them liking like this feed of Alex Smith, Mahomes with Dalton and Justin Fields? Do you think that would be the case? Because I think Dalton has only been like there like what 2 months, and just Alex Smith was there, was already knew the team, already knew the coaches. I mean, we don't really know that, and Dalton knows that. Do you think Justin Fields will be like more than 4 weeks in the bench, or will we see them like in week one?
We won't see him week one.
Okay.
I don't believe that, but I think like the new trend that I've noticed the last 3 or so years is you can pretty much look at a team that drafts a quarterback in the first round, and then look at their schedule, which I think comes out in
Tomorrow.
next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, tomorrow. Yeah. Uh, so I think you can look at that and you can hit that bye week, and whatever that is,
Yeah. You're right.
that's where they're coming. So
Yeah.
they're going to come in after that bye week. That's what we saw with Tua. I think that's what we would have seen with Herbert had Tyrod not gotten hurt.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a trend.
We hope the bye week is pretty soon because
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Justin Fields on the Bears uniform. So I'd love to learn your sleepers. Could you give me your five sleepers that will be difference makers in your squad this year in fantasy, please?
Yeah. So sleepers, I looked at the ECR Fantasy Pros. If you're not familiar with it, the expert consensus ranking,
Yeah.
and I pulled guys that were, I would say, like 45th or worse ranked for 2021. Those are sleepers, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you can say like, oh well, you guys are sleeping on Aaron Jones because
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all think he's due for regression. That's not a true sleeper. We all know it, Aaron Jones. So I'm gonna go with one that everyone's kind of been like cast off, and it's James Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that you go from being a top five back to just invisible like
Yeah.
people think that he is. And I do believe Urban Meyer's in a sense. I don't believe him whenever he says that James Robinson's going to get to work and Travis is only going to be a third round back, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But I do believe that it'll be closer to 50-50 than people think. Maybe it's 60-40. Of course, Travis is the better running back. But James Robinson has heart and he showed it. And I don't think he's going to roll over and just give up his touches easily.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. I mean, we don't really know. Like, also with that bye week, it happens with the running backs, man. Like, I don't know if Tracy's team will take over the backfield after bye week, but like this, I don't know how many weeks, but like 10 weeks, we see James Robinson. I think it will be pretty cool, and I'm rather with you, man. I mean, I think we'll see more of James Robinson. Would you rank him above the top 25 running backs, or would you be like
No, no, no,
lower?
no. I mean,
Okay,
he's a sleeper, but I'm
sure.
definitely more outlandish on him than a lot of people are. Like a lot of people have just completely written the guy off. And then
Yeah,
same with my next guy, T. Higgins, right?
yeah,
So I've noticed with T. Higgins, you're either all in or all out at this point. There's not many people in the middle. I think, I mean, Jamar Chase is just going to make things better for the guy.
for sure.
Uh, so I mean, AJ Green wasn't taking away any pressure from T. Higgins, not at this stage in his career. So T. Higgins, to have someone to complement him on the other side. Yeah, he's going to take away volume in a sense, but T. Higgins is going to see a lot more single coverage because he's their wide receiver too now. He's no
Yeah.
longer the alpha. That's Jamar Chase's job now. So T. Higgins is definitely a sleeper who's going to make a difference. Um, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
Touch on.
man, I love it. Yeah. Also, I had him in my list. Also, all the wide receivers of the Bengals because I think people are sleeping on them, as you say, because Jamar Chase arrived, and I think this is an offense that can like forecast every single guy. I mean, it can be like three guys like Tyler Boyd, T Higgins, and Jamar Chase, like the three of them, because Joe Burrow led the league in dropbacks when he got injured. I mean, we saw a lot of passes in that Bengals offense. We see the like to throw the ball. And I think this will be the case. I think, as you said, AJ Green was like had like more than 100 targets, and he was one of the worst players in yards per route run. And I think Jamar Chase can be a lot better than that. And I think we can see like T Higgins and him be ball out like both of them. Like I love this guy. Which give me your next sleeper, man.
So this one surprised me that he was outside of the top 45 on the ECR, but Kenny Galladay.
Okay.
And I get it. I get why he's there because New York has spent all offseason, now the draft, addressing the wide receiver
Yeah.
position, right? So they know that they spent up on Daniel Jones, and it's now or never for him to return on that, on that
Yeah.
price tag. So a lot of people, I feel like, think that maybe the volume won't be there that he saw in Detroit, Matthew Stafford. So now he's got a lesser quarterback with Daniel Jones. He's got more receivers to compete with targets. But being outside the top 45 on the ECR, that was eye
Yeah.
opening to me. I think a lot of people suffer from recency bias
Yeah.
syndrome, and last year with him missing most of the season with the hip injury, this year he's going to be a great buy low come draft time.
Yeah, man, I love it. I also didn't know that he was outside of the 45. Like, it surprised me because all of the talent he has and everything we've seen from him, and I think it would be pretty cool. I think like the biggest loser here was Sterling Shepard. I don't know how they will use him. Maybe we'll use him. Maybe they will use him like outside, but like I think Kadarius Toney will use his role in the slot, or maybe will be a 50-50 split in the slot. We don't really know that, but I think Kenny Galladay is like the like we all know he's the wide receiver one, and we all know that he can help a lot Daniel Jones to grow, and we see Daniel Jones throwing good balls. I think the decisions was something that was really questionable of him, but we saw some good like 20 plus yards downfield throws, and I really like Daniel Jones with him, and I think Daniel Jones can grow, and also he can help Kenny G to grow, right? To grow, right?
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I think this is what Daniel Jones is needed.
Yeah,
So he needed him.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and then so I guess I got all receivers here in my top five besides James Robinson. So the next is kind of a similar thing to T Higgins, uh, and it's Will Fuller.
Okay.
So they went and got Jalen Waddle over there. Everyone's just like, oh well, he's the guy. It's all his. Will Fuller had his career best season last year.
Yeah.
Granted, he was on steroids. Who knows how he'll do without him? But he changed his style of running last off season, uh, and he didn't suffer many soft tissue injuries. Right, that was his whole reason. Like Will Fuller's always been a really fast guy, but his running style is what caused most of his injuries. Like they were non-contact injuries, and he spent
Yeah.
all off season learning that. And I think just another whole year with that running style is only going to help him. I think Will Fuller is no longer the injury-prone receiver that we saw him as, and he's going to benefit from having Jalen Waddle a lot like T Higgins, like
Yeah.
because Hopkins left, he was the guy. I mean, your next guy was Brandon Cooks, which Brandon Cooks has put up numbers consistently throughout
Yeah.
the years, and it's always kind of shocking at the end of the year whenever you go back and look at the
Yeah.
season that Brandon Cooks has had. But defenses aren't scheming for him like maybe they did whenever he was in New Orleans or New England early in his career. Like those aren't the Brandon Cooks days of now. So they were really laser beamed in on Will Fuller, and he was still able to make it happen. Granted, Deshaun Watson, Tua, I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Sure.
But Will Fuller at his current ADP, steal.
Yeah, he's a complete steal and also great value, as you say. I love Will Fuller. I think many people are sleeping on him, and we saw Tua throw good ball, good long balls. I mean, we saw Jakeem Grant like drop a lot of them. Also, we saw like a lot of guys who we didn't even know them drop a lot of balls for Tua in 20 plus yard downfield. I think Will Fuller can be a great field stretcher, and he can also work in the middle of the field pretty cool. And also, it's a he can be like paired with Devante Parker, and Devante Parker like has played injured like for the last 3 years. I think he always plays injured, and he maybe we see injured Devante Parker, like the ADP of Will Fuller will rise if we see an injury of Devante Parker. That's like a little bit of a concern if we read some reports of Devante Parker being injured like in week 1 or something like that. I mean, we think Will Fuller will be like higher. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love Will Fuller, and I think this is a great compliment. And also, we'll see Jalen Waddle like playing the slot, and I think that's going to be like his role in three wide receiver sets. We're going to see Jalen Waddle in the slot, like Will Fuller in the left, maybe, and I think that's going to be a pretty great duo, right?
Yeah. No, that is a trio that a lot of teams don't want to mess with.
Yeah,
It's
for
going to be
sure,
fun
man.
to watch.
You
And
know,
then, so my final sleeper is the wide receiver three on his own team,
okay,
and that Antonio Brown, right?
okay,
So he only got 8 weeks with Tom Brady last season after his suspension or whatever you want to call it, right?
yeah,
So he came back, but in the postseason, I mean, he made a difference. He was there. You started seeing things click. Uh, Godwin now. I mean, he's had some hand injuries. I don't know if that's the way that he's catching the ball. Mike Evans always plays through injury.
yeah,
Antonio Brown will be the clear cut wide receiver three. It won't be Scotty Miller or Tyler Johnson. Like it will be ABs with a full off season. Uh, Granted, he stays. Let's say that he stays out of trouble.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, AB's like I think the last receiver to ever repeat as the wide receiver number one for fantasy. So his ceiling is higher than I would say that Godwin and Evans are, even though he's the wide receiver three on his own team, just because. Well, I guess that's kind of how we feel at the moment.
sure.
But I don't think from a talent standpoint he's the wide receiver three. I think he's up there. He could be a top five talent. It's
Yeah.
just it's going to be all about how they scheme things. But I could see
Yeah.
him creeping into that wide receiver two range with a full season with Tom Brady.
Yeah, for sure, man. And we saw like great things of AV. I mean, people thought he was going to be like washed and all that shit, but I think we saw like great stuff from AV. I mean, he was not the same, but he was like maybe more than the half of what we saw from AV. Like in I don't know 2013 something like that. We saw great things from AV, and I loved it. I think he'll have he'll be like moving around in the formation. I mean, we'll see him in the slot. We'll see him out wide. I think we will like enjoy a lot of spread. I'm getting a lot of spread of AB in my drafts, on a fantasy draft right now of baseball, no, on all things. I love AB and the value he has. Like people are really sleeping on him, so I think it's a great choice of yours.
He's a steal.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I have Cortland Sutton. I don't know if you like him. Like his ADP is so low for what he can bring, and also like right now, like to grab him in baseball leagues where I grabbed him in like in sixth rounder, something like that. Right now, we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. But if Aaron Rodgers get there, I mean, it's a question that we'll see uh after this. But I really love Carlton Sutton, and I think the Broncos love to throw the ball, and I think Carlton Sutton was great in that game versus the Steelers. Like we saw like what 23 snaps of him. We saw great stuff of Carlton Sutton. I think he can be like a great steal in the correct value, right? We're not going to grab him like top four maybe, but yeah, I love Carlton Sutton.
Yeah, no, I love Cortland Sutton. I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers goes there
Yeah,
amidst the hype and stuff. Um, I think what happens is if the Packers allow him to dictate that, kind of like with Deshaun Watson before all the
yeah,
alleged sexual assaults, like if a team allows someone to do that, then it just opens the floodgates. And we've seen the NFL like become, become so super team. Like
yeah,
there's like 5 teams in the NBA who have a shot, and the rest of them like are lucky to make the playoffs, kind of. And that's how it works. So I think if if the Packers cave and let the player win, same as the Texans, then they open these floodgates for the entire NFL. So I just don't see it happening. Like Aaron Rodgers either retires or he's played his last down in Green Bay or he's playing in Green Bay, and I don't
Right.
see him in another uniform. But if he did, I still think Sutton is the second best receiver on his team.
Yeah.
But and Rodgers has never really fed the wide receiver two.
Yeah.
Well, at least since Randall Cobb and what's his name?
Uh, yeah, Jordan Nelson. I don't know.
Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
So since those guys and Adams was his wide receiver three,
Yeah.
he hasn't really fed more than one receiver since those days. He not that he locks on to anyone. Maybe he just hasn't had
Yeah.
anyone worthy. But I would put Cortland Sutton still in the wide receiver two range.
Right. I mean, what do you think about the salary cap? I mean, it's a little like outside of this subject, but what do you think about salary cap? Would you like the Cowboys with Jerry Jones like outside like spending millions for the Cowboys, like having every single star? Would you like that, or are you really against that?
What, like how Jerry Jones like goes out and
Yeah, this against the salary cap. Are you against the salary cap, or are you for the salary cap?
no, there has to be a salary cap.
Okay.
It has to, yeah, because I hate the NBA the way it is now. Like, I mean, if you're a Golden State fan,
No, no,
no,
no.
so, I mean, or maybe a Lakers fan, something like that. Like, hey, maybe it's cool
Yeah.
the way that the NBA is now, but as like a small market team, like the Pelicans, like I hate the way that the NBA is structured, where it's like you just get penalized if you go over the salary cap. It's not true. So I think the NFL needs to stick with what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They actually, I would love for them to uh, cut out some of the cap manipulations. Like even though teams like the Saints, which is my favorite team, have manipulated the cap for the last 15 years with Mickey Loomis, I don't think that that should be allowed. I think that the NFL should get stricter, and it keeps the
Right.
whole league more competitive.
Sure, sure, sure. Then I have this question for you. Jamar Chase or Devon Smith, who would you draft? Is it more like a 1A, 1B, or do you like both?
No, it's Jamar. It's clean, but I do love Devontae.
Okay.
Okay, I think he's great. I'm not worried about his BMI. I'm not worried about any of that crap. He's a ball
No,
player,
no, yeah.
right? So I don't care how skinny or how fat you are. I mean, if you can play ball, you can play ball. But Jamar Chase is just that guy. I had LSU season tickets for
Okay.
the year that we won the championship. My wife and I. So I got to see Jamar. We went to the playoff game and to the championship along with that. Like I saw Jamar in person a lot. He's the truth, man.
Yeah.
He's a difference maker. So he's definitely he's a step ahead of Devontae. I think if Jamar played this season, Devontae's not the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw Justin Jefferson even take a step back for Jamar Chase to be great, right? Like Jamar Chase was that great that Justin Jefferson was like the second guy in that team. I mean, what he's going to do in the NFL is something like will be like really, really awesome. And it's super cool that you had the chance to see him every game. Like that was
Yeah.
super cool.
Are you a Bengals fan? I see the Bengals
No,
still.
no. I just like have like a lot of teams. I'm more like root for players, not for teams, but I like the Niners. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Also, I think Devon Smith will have like the target share that you like. I mean, I am with you. I think Jamar Chase has to be like up there in all of our rankings. But I think Devon Smith will have like cool targets. I don't know if he will have like more than 100, maybe. But I think Jamar Chase is going to break the league, like to take the league by surprise for sure. Uh, how high do you think Lamar Jackson can go with Rashod Bateman?
With Rashod Bateman, man. I'm just gonna say top five and probably not in the top four.
Okay.
So I would say fifth is his best, and I know that he's finished as the QB1 in the past, and it's all because of rushing upside. So with a receiver like Rashod Bateman, there's pros and cons to it, right? So
Sure.
he doesn't have to take the game into his own hands whenever he has Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead are his two best receivers, right? So now he
Yeah.
has Sammy Watkins and Rashod Bateman. What's that allow him to do? Play quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks that play quarterback don't score as many points as quarterback that play running back. So as much as it helps him, as a player, and especially in dynasty rankings as he gets older,
Sure.
I think it's going to take some pressure off of him and therefore his body. I think it could hurt him in a fantasy format where, I mean, your rushing points are worth so much more than your passing.
Yeah, I mean, all the scoring formats are pretty crazy. It doesn't matter. Like, they give you like a lot of points in if you run the ball. It's pretty much cheat code if you have a quarterback that you have that has rushing upside. I think like in real life, I think it'll be pretty cool because I am of the idea. I really fucking love Lamar Jackson. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
me too.
he's awesome. I mean, I really hate all those jokes of running back playing QB. I mean,
Dude,
please stop these jokes.
well, the thing is, I don't think Lamar wants to be the running back who plays QB. Like, dude,
Yeah,
so many times, like he puts it in their hands and they drop it,
yeah,
and then it's third down, and he's like, "Well, fuck it. I mean, I'm going to have to run the ball.
yeah.
I have to take this in my own hand, or we're not getting a first down because these guys can't catch a cold." And it happens time and time again. Now, I mean, you got Sammy Watkins, Rashod Bateman. Like, you can play quarterback. You don't have to go out there and get your head taken off.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, I love it. And also, I mean, he was awesome. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to throw like Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, but I think he can be a pretty effective quarterback, and people don't realize that, and I love
you can
what
do.
we will see with him.
Yeah.
Also, we got like Talon Wallace of Oklahoma State or in up there, and yeah, I think it will be pretty cool to have him over there. Now, next question I would like to like you to answer this. How will David Montgomery fare with Terry Cohen back and with additions of Damon Williams and Khalil Herbert?
Dude, yeah, it's going to be tough to repeat the volume, and he would be a better fantasy running back if Dalton was the quarterback.
Yeah,
I truly believe that. But whenever you have someone with the rushing upside that Fields has, and I talked about how I'm scared that Fields the game's going to go a little faster and he's going to take off running more. Um, so I know he finished top five last year with Tariq back and now Herbert and Williams there,
yeah,
a running quarterback. He's fringe top 20 for me. Like, I mean, he would be somewhere
yeah,
probably between that 18-22 range.
yeah.
I don't think he comes close to top five, and I'll be surprised if he has another RB1 season as long as he's there with Fields.
Yeah, yeah, I'm rather with you. Also, we saw like Nagy loves Cohen. I mean, he really fits him and he gives him like a lot of targets. Not him, but like the scheme like helps a lot Cohen. And we saw also that pick of Herbert, who I love a lot. I think will be pretty tough, as you say. Also, like we talked about Cortland Sutton already, and I think it will be pretty cool if Aaron Rodgers gets there. But like you told me like your duty for you is the what is your one Ademar?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Well,
Why did you love him?
dude, ACLs are not easy
Yeah,
to come back from. And I know Cortland Sutton was in week one. So, I mean, he's pretty much got two. I mean, he's got a
yeah,
whole year off, right?
yeah,
But it's still not as easy as people think. Like you and I couldn't go do it. These guys
sure.
are freaks. But Jerry Judy is, I mean, he's the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
So
man. He's like we saw this last game against I think the Raiders. It was the last game of the Broncos. It was awesome. That reception of like more than 90 yards. The longest reception of the year was awesome. And also we saw this route running ability. Like it was really cool against the Falcons. This he puts the cornerback in skates and then scores a TD. It was awesome to see. Usually, last question before we get you out of here. I mean, you can become an NFL running back or wide receiver, you decide, and you can auto feed you with either 300 plus carries or 150 plus targets. Which player would you become? Which player do you think is like really underused for you?
man, I would go running back.
Okay.
300 guaranteed sounds a lot better than 150 maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to catch them all. Um, so I'll take the 300 carries only because I'm a ball hog.
Okay.
I'm like that. I've been like that my whole life, man. I can't even play anything with my wife. I'm a complete ball hog. So feed me the 300 carries, and even if I get 300 yards, I'll be happy. Um,
Yeah.
so running back.
Me too, man. I mean, I drop every single thing. I mean, I'd be like a pretty a pretty shitty running back if you told me. I mean, I'd be like that. Those ironic, but maybe like I love Rojo, but I think I'd be like something like that who runs the ball pretty cool, but drops every single ball that comes his way. Maybe I'll be something like that. So yeah, man, thanks for being here. I love this. I hope we can do this another time. I hope you can swing by another
For sure,
time.
man. Anytime. Let me know.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I see you practicing this Spanish in my tweets. I mean, I tweet a lot in Spanish, so whenever you want to see like some cool Spanish tweets, you can go follow
Yeah,
me at.
I'm much better at reading Spanish
Okay.
and writing Spanish. I think that's from high school. My tongue just can't get the roll. So my accent is so discouraging. Like one of my good friends in high school is from Honduras, Alex,
Okay.
and man, he was just always laughing at me whenever he's trying to teach. And it's my tongue can't get that roll that you guys get. So it's tough, but I'm much better at writing and reading Spanish than I am talking.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we whenever you want to come to Mexico, I can receive you here in
Yeah,
Mexico City. I mean, I'm devastated that the NFL will not come this year. I mean,
I know.
it will be
That,
like tough. Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, because I'm not a politician, but I think we are like in the same situation that the UK. I mean, we they have like a lot of variants of COVID. I mean, I think here we have like only two of them. I mean, I
Yeah,
think of course a pretty tough situation, but I think we can host an NFL team, an NFL match, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
yeah. All
But
right.
yeah, thanks, Elvin. Anything you want to like to take off your chest right now?
No, man. Just thank you for having me, man. Really.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's an honor,
Yeah.
and it was cool. It was awesome stuff. Thanks for being here. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio. Muchísimas gracias por escucharlo y nos vemos.